You are listening to Extinction Radio. Get the podcast at extinctionradio.org.
Well, the Antarctic is very interesting in that, it's so much bigger. It's solid land, first of all, and the Arctic is all, water. So it's almost the mirror opposite to the Arctic. And it has about, I think, a couple miles worth of ice on top of it. So, it's going to take a lot more energy for the Antarctic to take off. But in fact, we find that the Antarctic is taking off right now with a vengeance. So right now, here we are in September. This is the end of winter in the Antarctic, and a huge tropical mass has just come down from the equatorial regions and set itself right over West Antarctica, and it's causing a huge amount of melting, and this heat is also impacting what is left of the Larsen ice shelf. Larsen A and B have already met their demise some years ago. Larsen C ice shelf has developed a huge crack, and I believe the crack is somewhere in the nature of 130 kilometers long, and it's at least 300 meters wide. So if you can imagine the scale of this crack, it's almost past understanding. Anyway, the bit of ice that's going to crack off, the one that's facing the sea from this crack, is about the size of Connecticut. So what this means, and this ice crack is just growing day by day, and when these things happen, they happen very, very quickly. So when the Larsen C ice shelf begins to crack off, it's going to happen fairly suddenly, and within even 10 days, the whole thing, once it starts to truly crack, will just crack off, and it will meet its demise, and it will be no more. Now, the significant thing about this is the Larsen C ice shelf is like a vast ice plug, and it's holding back a great amount of glacial ice that will now be entrained and start to come down in the West Antarctic region and start to really, really move. Once that ice plug is removed, the rest of the ice behind it is just going to accelerate. And I feel that probably what we're going to see is an exponential escalation of the melting of West Antarctica, which has been melting down quickly, but I think it's actually going to accelerate more after the Larsen C ice shelf dissolves. So we'll have to kind of keep our eyes on Larsen C and see how it does.